Security Committee. Concern over revenge attacks sparking new warnings from the CIA this morning. The spy agency says Al-Qaeda will, quote, almost certainly try to retaliate for the killing of Osama Bin Laden. The terror leader went down in a blaze of gunfire from elite U.S. military forces who offered him the chance to surrender. The raid on Bin Laden's compound in Pakistan is triggering new security measures in this country right now. The New York Police Department ramping up patrols in vulnerable areas, while the LAPD is keeping an extra close eye throughout that city. So what should we expect, and how do we stay safe? Mike Barrett is the former director of strategy for the White House Homeland Security Council under President George W. Bush, also a former intelligence officer for Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld. And Mike, this is absolutely an intelligence victory of the First Order.
Oh, absolutely. Military and intelligence community, you know, they get up every single morning looking and trying to find Bin Laden for 10 years. And, you know, hats off to them. Well done. Tremendous victory. You know, it shows that it takes persistence. It takes tremendous training. It takes, frankly, an expenditure of tremendous money. And it takes just some of the best people in the world. And that's what we have on our side, thank God, protecting us.
Strategically, though, it doesn't alter the equation, does it? I mean, Al-Qaeda is still out there. We've taken out the one man, the head of the snake, but the snake still lives.
That's exactly right. There's really three issues to look at, right? So domestically, there's a lot of significant potential threats from domestic radicals and from small kind of amateurish types of attacks that we've seen since 9/11. Everyone here domestically, the American population, should be on the lookout for that, should learn about how to report that to the authorities and to help the JTTFs and the fusion centers that we've set up to do their job. Overseas, you've got Americans all across the world who really need to be careful about their own personal safety and physical security, because, you know, any American anywhere is a target. That's the sad reality. And then there's that third category, the what we call mass spectacular attacks, like what we saw on 9/11. And that, again, is where the intelligence community and the military come into play. That's what they're trying to really prevent, is those big attacks.
Interesting that while he was hiding out in that compound in Pakistan, the revolution that he was trying to harness was really going on without him. I mean, Facebook and Twitter were contributing more to the revolutions in places like Tunisia, Libya, Egypt than Osama bin Laden ever did.
Well, I think that's true, but I think we also have to be kind of careful on how we interpret that. The story is not yet written on how the Middle East is going to turn after the you know, the turbulent times we've had. Nobody's really sure how Egypt's going to turn out, much less Tunisia, Libya, Yemen, Syria, of course. You know, so even though Al-Qaeda has not been seen as particularly in favor or forceful in this particular stage of the revolution, ultimately what matters is what happens 2 years from now, 4 years from now, and I think that's something we have to really guard against. We can't be complacent and say, well, these are democracy movements, everything's going to work out well. We really have to keep an eye on things and make sure that our interests are protected, which certainly includes finding and killing people like Bin Laden.
Mike Barrett was director of the Homeland Security Committee for Homeland Security Council, I should say, under President George W. Bush. Mike, thanks for your insight.
Thank you.
Well, as we focus